If you are affirming and you are even applying robotic affirmations and it still just seems to you kind of unbelievable or a bit fake and monotonous, it doesn't mean that it's not working, and I'm going to explain in this video how to handle it and what all of this actually means. So don't stop affirming just because you're going through this. This video is really going to help you guys, whether you've just come to my channel or are returning viewers, how to stay on track. And when it feels like your affirmations might be wrong or you're not sure why they feel a certain way, we're going to help you with that. I'm going to help you with that today. Any new viewers here, welcome. I'm Alexa, manifestation coach. Right before we jump into this, I am a coach, as I said, so I offer paid coaching services. If you want extra support one-to-one, please don't leave it in the comments. You can watch all my content. I have tons of short videos as well, which just give a few bonus quick tips in 30 seconds or less usually. Or if you are able to and you want to take a step further, you can join my membership, which is my most affordable option for extra coaching and advice, extra bonus content. I have an SP challenge up for you guys, or one-to-one coaching, which is via my website. Everything is linked below. All the buttons are below. So do take a look if that interests you. And now let's start. Your affirmations at the beginning, when you first pick them, or when you start using new affirmations, even if you're kind of a pro at manifesting right now, then it's normal for it to feel unrealistic or even unbelievable. If it felt real, if it seemed real and it was something very realistic, you probably wouldn't even need to affirm for it. You could just do a little bit of positive mindset work and it would be manifesting and coming together naturally. And, B, it would already be here. So you'd either get it quite naturally and quickly, like in a very natural, quick way, without having to put any conscious work in, or it would already be your reality, right? So if I were to say to you something that you already have, like you have a job, or you go to school, you have blonde hair, you have long hair, you are in contact with your specific person, whether it's positive or negative, there is already something there, right? So if I were to pick out something that you already manifested or you already have in your reality, you just believe it, you assume it. That's the difference between consciously manifesting and putting in the effort versus something that just feels real and natural and you wouldn't even question it. You'd think I'm crazy for telling you, you have brown hair, you have blonde hair, right? So it doesn't need to feel realistic or believable or something that you can achieve, even if at first you're battling with these thoughts of maybe self-sabotage or doubting yourself, not really believing in your own ability to manifest or achieve and maintain that goal, for example. Whatever it is that you are still working through, and that might be kind of like holding you back, slowing you down a little bit right now, temporarily, that you feel like you need to push past, that's okay. That's not a barrier. That doesn't mean you're doing it wrong or that you can't manifest. It's natural to have some kind of level of, this doesn't feel real. The belief isn't even needed at first, as I said. We're going to get into your emotional state and why things feel that way a little later in the video. But the actual belief in your affirmations and it manifesting, it's not needed. The belief will come later, and repetition is the most important element. Repetition is how you're going to build up acceptance. That's what's going to unravel all the negative assumptions and beliefs and conscious doubts that might be holding you back right now, because you haven't yet built up a habit and thought patterns around thinking from the new version yet. So also, if you feel neutral towards it, or you just kind of maybe feel like nothing towards your affirmations, or when you repeat them, that's okay. That's not a bad thing. It's actually a positive sign that at least it's not negative. If you're neutral to it or you don't feel the emotion of the end result, that's totally fine. And, as long as it's, if it's not negative, then it's a positive. It's a neutral point. It's not going to do any, slowing down. So if you have gotten to a point where it's actually just, you don't feel anything, but you don't feel really bad or anxious, or you don't constantly still think and hold on to the idea that it's not going to happen, it's impossible, I just can't get over these negative circumstances. If you're not thinking that way and it just kind of feels neutral or bland, that's completely fine. As long as it's not feeling that way towards your actual end goal and you're like, I don't really care. As long as it's not like that type of feeling about it, the affirmations themselves need no emotion attached to it, need no feeling of it being real. That will build up over time. As I said, the repetition will lead to your own mind conforming, your own mind accepting it. So feeling nothing towards it is actually kind of a positive thing. So a common misconception and things that people maybe struggle to let go of, especially because we're so used to knowing, factually basing things on circumstances and, just looking externally and saying, okay, this thing is present in my life and therefore my beliefs and, the quality of my lifestyle and whatnot is based on that. So if your affirmations don't feel perfect and the manifesting process itself doesn't feel perfect, a lot of people struggle with this and maybe even want to give up. And that's actually completely wrong. Your affirmations don't need to feel perfect. As I've been saying and leading into, your emotions not needing to be present and tied into your affirmation or the end result, because it's the repetition that's going to manifest. You obviously can't undo beliefs and deep-rooted beliefs in your subconscious mind without putting in that effort and work. It's the repetition, just like anything, just like getting fit, going to the gym, eating healthily. You can't eat one apple, unfortunately, and then just like lose 5 pounds, right? So whatever goal it is, even learning a new hobby, it doesn't have to be physical change. It's just the way everything works naturally. It needs repetition and experience to build into these positive changes. So your affirmations don't need to feel perfect, be perfect. I have other videos. I'm not delving into the actual affirmations themselves. I have more videos about how to, create the right affirmations, how to use your affirmations robotically. I have different videos that delve deeper into that. So please do go take a look. You can type that in on my channel if you're interested. It might be suggested somewhere in this video and on the screen as well. But having said that, the actual feeling of when you're doing your affirmations doesn't need to be perfect. So don't worry if you still have a little bit of doubt. It's just lingering doubts, the old story, the old way of thinking, because you're creating something new and amazing exactly as you want it to be. So consciously, your mind is going to say, what do you mean life is perfect? So just to tie up this section, your emotions don't manifest. And basically, if your emotions were manifesting, it would be so much harder and also things would be very up and down. They would just ebb and flow constantly. You wouldn't have any consistent beliefs or experiences. Things would not be able to manifest permanently because obviously emotional states come and go. We can have a bad day, a bad moment, feel stressed, or something with the unknown, with your SP or with your end result, yourself, your career, friendships, whatever it might be. Friendship is also an SP. These things may differ slightly day to day, or you might, like I said, something unknown comes up where you don't have the answer or the exact circumstance surrounding what you've seen or heard, and then your emotions might start to panic and stress, and your mind can kind of go into worst case scenario. For example, it's okay to have those moments. You pull yourself back in, and because that's an emotional state as well. Emotions are always going to be tied into this, and if your manifestation is very significant to you, that's completely normal. So if they were manifesting, it would be so much harder. You'd have to be controlling your actual feelings. So I don't even know how that would work. That's kind of going into law of attraction. And there's a lot of, I feel like, toxic advice tied into that, but it's not the emotional state, it's the mental state. Behind the scenes of your own mind, it's like all your brain cells and mind and neural pathways and memories and beliefs in the subconscious mind. Everything behind the scenes is working. So, and obviously, of course, if you guys know me, an analogy did just come to mind of seeing a production like a West End or Broadway show, or a film at the cinema, and you are seeing the production on screen, but behind the scenes, you don't see the chaos. You don't see the hundreds of employees and cast members and, actors behind the scenes getting everything ready. The director, everyone scrambling together to get on screen, to get, on stage and put together everything perfectly, a perfect show. That is the end result. That's kind of what's going on right now. It's happening behind the scenes. Things are conforming. So your brain and your mind, your memories, everything tied to do with your mental state is working behind the scenes internally. It's conforming, and you don't always see or feel or fully recognize that movement and those shifts visibly. And that's completely fine. You're not going to pick up on everything, because if we were able to do that, we'd probably be able to get to the root of our negative beliefs, right? So it would make manifesting a lot easier, because we'd know exactly what beliefs we're trying to shift around. But behind the scenes internally, that's where the conforming starts. That's a huge element. That's what creates the domino effect for everything else to come together, and your mind is conforming. So it's that repetition of using your affirmations regardless of what emotions might come up. So yeah, if you're feeling that your affirmations, not the wording or the actual affirmations and end result themselves, but maybe the feeling, or when you robotically affirm, or maybe you're not 100% sure, like, oh my gosh, wait, so if I say this, is it really going to manifest like that? You know, kind of questioning and delving into everything, picking apart everything. If you're still trying to get past that consciously, but you are robotically or consistently looping your affirmations, you're on the right track, you're doing the right thing. Your subconscious mind is not rejecting your affirmations or rejecting the end result. It's conforming and it's starting to accept it. It really just comes down to what I just said about staying consistent, and you're getting to the root of those issues really, because you're changing around the negative old story, the old circumstances that you would have held on to and made your assumptions about, and you're flipping it around and you're telling my nope, that's not true anymore, and you're just saturating it with these new thoughts. So it is invisibly working, and this is the point at which a lot of people struggle. Doubt can naturally come up. People tend to give up and just give in to the negative, conscious, logical thoughts. The kind of thoughts that might come up, of it's not working, it's taking too long, why am I not seeing the result come in? And the result could be around the corner. Always remind yourself of that. Well, it could be any moment now. And you want to keep working on opposing those negative thoughts. You don't want to hold on to them or let them keep repeating automatically. Keep pushing back, keep being consistent with your affirmations, because that's, what you're doing here. You're saturating your subconscious mind. So to keep your focus on it and to keep the excitement and your mind focused on your affirmations, so you don't get bored, monotonous, and start to think, I'm not feeling anything, which again, it's fine if you do. You don't have to have your emotions tied to it, but to keep your focus and excitement levels and just really alternate and, be able to maintain this. I don't want to say long term, because that implies that you have to wait a long time for your manifestation, but at least for a consistent routine until it literally physically manifests. So for whatever time frame that might be for everyone, you want to keep yourself focused and just have fun with it. Like I said, keep your excitement going. Alternate the leading words. Anything like immediately, of course, right now. It's not going to be an instant fix where you manifest instantly or a lot quicker, but it can help. Like I said, it can speed things up. It can potentially help your mind focus on it as if it's here right now. If you really struggle with that, or you're kind of questioning things, kind of talking to yourself in that way and saying, of course SP loves me, of course SP and I together, we are immediately together, we are immediately a couple, something like that, that can help. Alternate it around. So ultimately, I'll just finish up here with reminding you guys that feeling neutral towards it is okay. If you feel neutral or positive, as long as it's nothing negative, you're completely fine. There's nothing to be concerned with when it comes to your affirmations. It's actually probably a good thing. Like I said, you've moved beyond that old story of anything negative constantly coming up and, that pushing ahead of your affirmations or the new story in your conscious thoughts. And you're kind of recognizing there that the subconscious mind is doing the work, and feeling neutral or positive is a huge internal shift. So you just need to keep persisting and staying consistent with the repetition. That's really the most important part. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it useful. If you did, please do thumbs up, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. Leave any comments below. I'd love to chat with you guys in the comments. Your feedback or your own progress with your manifestation, I'd love to hear that. And I will see you next time.